everybody. Hello for everybody out there in Streamland. Welcome to the sixth Friday night wind down. We do this the first Friday of every month. Started back
Abbott
in
just checked in.
August, I guess.
Abbott,
in the middle of COVID,
you told him to
trying
fix
find a
it,
way to
girl.
connect with everybody. And it was just a couple of us down in the girl room doing some music, drinking some wine, and streaming. And this is the second time we've had a live audience, and I'm really glad to have all of y'all out here. So thank y'all for coming out and being a part of it. And thanks everybody at home listening. Hope you're enjoying some wine with us today. We're going to do a little bit of some cheese along with the tasting today from Antonelli's, which I think everybody will love. But nobody wants to hear me talk anymore. I want to introduce a person that I've listened to for a long time. In fact, I won't tell the first time, I won't date us until the first time that I saw you play at the Pauline yesterday. And so it's exciting to tell you for the second time Pauline played out here, but first time for us.
Darn, something's not working.
We're really happy to have her, and so I hope you guys enjoy her as much as I do. We'll let her take it away.
Hi, Yates, everybody. Oh my goodness! So if you were here
When
for
he
sound
changed
check,
something,
you
he
know
changed
that,
it on me
wasn't
over
quite
there.
as loud as we wanted. So
Oh man.
my
Yeah.
band leader had a wedding. He was playing.
There you go.
At,
Okay. Went through now.
happened to be today, which was synchronicity because I could not get this thing to work. I told him, I said, I told you I don't do sound. I do songs, guitar, and entertaining. That's it. He said, well, it was a wedding. I'm getting paid like 10 times, you know. I said, who is it, Beyonce? He said, it's kind of like that. I said, great. I'm going to crash it when I'm done, so be ready. Oh, great. Yeah, let's all go. Yeah, that's fine with me. Just don't tell him that I sent you. I brought you. Well, if you follow me on Facebook, then you'll know that I ran into, I got to have brunch with actually one of my good friends, Michael Martin Murphy. And if you, do you remember who that is? Anyone? Yeah? If you don't know who that is, please look him up. He's a legend like Willie Nelson, and he's one of my mentors and a great American poet. But we wrote this song together, and he made it the title of his album, and I put it on my latest album as well. It's The High Stakes of Life.
You're in between the earth and somewhere in the sky, not too low, not too high. You don't understand the cards you hold in your hands, not too big, high stakes. Feeling like a fool, 'cause you're breaking every rule, but it feels great. High stakes, you're here great. High stakes. Thank you so much. Yeah, somebody said, how do you hold that note out so long? And I said, well, I was like Dolly Parton. I was blessed with very large lungs and hair if I need to, you know. Today was a hat day. I was like, I think I'm going to be in the sun, so I can't keep my glasses on my nose. That's kind of a good thing. Well, I'm going to take you down to Mexico. Did anybody have a good Cinco de Mayo? Did you have a good time? Yeah? All right. I did. I played with my friend Andrea Marie at one of her shows. I was her special guest at the Shore, and we had a really good time. If you go to Pauline Reese Official on Facebook, you can see what a good time we had. It's very entertaining. Okay, let's just say I look like I'm 15 years old in the pictures. Okay, because of what I'm doing, not because of my collagen. I don't do Botox. That's scary. I only do natural things, you know, like wine. It's really good for the skin, the antioxidants. That's what I hear. So I'm going to play you a song. This was, I'm improvising over here, okay? So this was a song. This was a tune that I wrote when I was 18 years old, so just 10 years ago now. And okay, hold on. Did you tell them I'm not 28?
Well, you did play at Pootie's. I think you were 7 when I saw you. I think that was how old you were.
I was 10.
Yeah.
Okay, put it this way. When I played my first shows in my band, I could not drive there. My mom had to drive me to my shows in the minivan, which looked really cool, by the way. And I would have her drop me off in the back because a bunch of my friends would come in. This is back when you had minors in the bar and, you know, you just put the X's and it was SPJST and places like that. All the German bars. You know what I'm talking about. I grew up, Ich verstehe nur ein bisschen Deutsch. Se habla español también. Just kidding. I'm a Texan. You got to have a little bit of everything going on here. So she would drop me off around back because it wasn't cool. All my friends might see me in mom's minivan. You know what I mean? I was like, Mom, could you pull around back? She goes, why? Are you embarrassed? I was like, no, I have to unload my gear. It's closer. So when I was 18, so all right, I'm 32. When I was 18 years old, I wrote this song with a friend, Marcus David Kennedy. And it was the first #1 for any female in Texas music, which was pretty cool. Because we're not in Rhode Island. That'd be really small. And they'd be like, big deal. But Texas is a big state. And I had to drive to every single radio station in Texas, literally in the middle of, you know, nowhere, oil fields. And there'd be a tower. And I had trained my friend who was with me to like look for towers, radio towers. I was like, there's a tower. We're going. Yeah, it was like Thelma and Louise. So this one's called Trail to Monterey. It's like a modern day Marty Robbins type tune. Here's a story known to many about a road to Mexico. It's told to every cowboy riding around El Paso. If you go below the border, you can take the road by day. Don't get caught at sundown on the trail to Monterey. Now the year was 1836 at the Alamo, where a gang of Texas rebels fought a war in San Antonio. Many a grave now bears the name of the dead where they lay, but the ghost of one lost hombre rides the trail, trail to Monterey. Some say that he rides a religious fallen country. Some say that he rides for debt he never paid. But the only souls that know, they lie in Mexico. You can hear them, they tell the story of long ago. My backup plan is I could always do mariachi. You know what I mean? So beware all you renegades, outlaws, rangers too. If you ride the haunted path, you'll find this story is true. No one's ever seen him, no one knows his name. Down below the border, there's a ghost that rides the rain. Some say that he rides for a religious fallen country. Some say that he rides for debt he never paid. But the only souls that know, they lie in Mexico. You can hear them, they tell the story of long ago. Now the trail would been happy, the trail to Monterey. Gracias. Thank you. So she's passing out the boxes. So I guess you get to try some cheeses, right? With your wine. Is this so are you gonna pour like whites and then go into reds? What's happening here?
We're gonna do all kinds of fun cheese tastings here but right now everybody's gonna focus on you. Let's listen to you, bud.
So don't touch your box.
You can touch your box if you want to.
Or the cheese.
We're gonna taste through together.
That was terrible. That was on. I hope my mom's not watching. I don't think she knows how to find it on Facebook, so I think I'm good. My mom is 80 years old, you guys. Isn't that amazing? She had 8 children. I'm number 7. Obviously an accident.
What is number 8?
Yeah, exactly. I hope he's watching. What does that make you? So I'm going to play you a kind of an Irish sounding song, and that's the melody. It's off of my latest album. I've got 7 albums, which is like sending 7 kids to college. Yeah. My sister says, well, I sent 3 girls to college, and I'm like, cool, I have 7 albums. It's really no different, except I have 4 more than you. So actually my daughter is here. She's over there in the white t-shirt playing. Hi, look how cute she is. So this song is about my life. I lost our 3rd child to a miscarriage, and then in the process of that I ended up having a stroke, and I couldn't understand speech when I woke up, and it was really a very humbling experience. Couldn't be around light, sound, my own kids, and it was just a lot to take in. So that's what this song is about. It's about my kids, my two girls. I have two girls, Heidi and Henley, that are 10 and 12. And it was like, hey, if I'm not here, I'll always be here. Does that make sense? Like if you have faith and a strong foundation in God, I'll be here. So don't worry about it. So that's what this is about. Even though it's titled Sweetgrass, and I have that Willie Nelson affiliation, it has nothing to do with Willie. I just want to be very clear. I love you, though, if you're watching. Mwah. From Hawaii, you jerk. There we go. I can see what you've seen through your eyes, with the sweet grass waves and the eagle flies. You walk this place, plow this land, with the sweat of your brow and the toil of your hands. And you've marked it with your graves, with the sweet grass waves, with the sweet grass waves. Blood's been spilled and hearts poured out, and tears of rain through the cold and the drought. But the seeds of hope that I now hold, it's up to me to make them grow. And I'll see my babies raised with the sweet grass waves, with the sweet grass waves. When the last sun sets and the angels come, and the plow stands still, but there's work to be done. But the ground is rich and the roots are strong, and as long as you're here, will you carry it on? Will you carry it on? And I always will remain with the sweet grass waves, with the sweet grass waves, with the sweet grass waves. Ooh. Thank you. Thank you. Well, hard to know what to play. So little time. I've got 6 hours worth of material, so if you guys want to stick around a little bit after, then we can keep going. I'm sure they would stay open late, right? So 1 a.m. deal. I think I'm going to play one of my favorite rodeo songs. It's for all my friends in Abilene tonight. Susie Bogus cut this song and made it a #1 hit.
Susie played here.
She has.
She played
I
here a
love
couple
her.
years ago. Yeah.
We've done several shows over the years, and I really
Great.
like her a lot.
Yeah.
She's a good human being. All right. So this tune, Judy Collins made it a #1. Susie Bogus made it a #1, and I'm going to put it on my new album with John Arthur Martinez. I talked to John and I said, "Hey, we've been talking about this for 20 years since I was 5, and is it the sun? Is that it? I thought my concealer was doing good. I don't do Botox, y'all. It's gross." John and I have been talking about it, and I said, we need to do an album. I said, all your records sound so good. They're made out of his studio. Will you produce a record for me? And we'll just co-produce and get some of the people that I admire in here, like Michael Mark Murphy and Johnny Lee and Johnny Rodriguez and John Arthur, of course. And now Andrea Marie, I've included her on this. So yeah, just let's do something fun. And he said, I'm on it. So he has literally for the last 2 months remodeled his entire house. So his wife is going to kill me. I owe her some, you know what? Sign me up. I'm going to get her some wine.
Well, you must be special. It's hard to get John Arthur to do anything. So
right?
You got him to do that.
Except
yeah.
sing.
Except for
He'll
sing.
perform.
He'll do that. He'll do that.
Yeah, he'll perform 7 days a week or 8 days a week. If there were 8 days, he'd do it. So that's what we're doing. I'm super excited about this. It's going to be old country and Western, the only 2 types of music.
Both kinds.
Yeah, both kinds. That's right. All right, here we go. There's a young man that I know whose age is 21. Comes from down in southern Colorado. Just out of the service, he's looking for his fun someday soon. Going with him someday soon. My parents, they can't stand him 'cause he rides the rodeo. My father says that he would leave me crying, but I would follow him right down the roughest road I know. Someday soon, going with him someday soon. When it comes to call, my boy ain't got a good word to say. Guess it's 'cause he's just as wild in his younger days. Though you over northern, oh my love to me, he's riding in tonight from California. Loves his damned old rodeo as much as he loves me. Someday soon, going with him someday soon. Like a 70s whistling, you know? I wasn't born, but I know what it is. When it comes to call, Michael ain't got a good word to say. Yes, it's 'cause he's just as wild in his younger days. So blow you old blue Northern, oh my love to me. Riding in tonight from California. He loves his damn old rodeo as much as he loves me. Someday soon, going with him. Someday soon, someday soon, going with him. Someday soon. Thank you. Oh, is it time?
Yeah, let's drink some wine.
It's time now. I want to say this. Most singer-songwriters are like, hey, I don't do dairy before a performance. Yeah, because it's, it's milk. It's a milk product. And, not too much alcohol or anything. And then dairy. I'm like, no, we're at Spicewood Vineyards. I'm going to have some meat and cheese and a glass of wine right now.
Yeah.
All right. Can everybody hear me? All right. I'm gonna bring this a little closer, mostly because I like to hear myself talk. Pauline Reese, everybody. Thank you very much, Pauline. Great song. So here comes. This is pretty one of my favorite things, that I get to do music and wine, which were two of my favorite things in the world. I tried early on to be in the music business and failed very miserably. Not in the performance side, because my GC&D was really bad, so I didn't try that. But iTunes becoming fully functional in 2007 did a lot of smaller record labels in. So we make wine now instead. We leave the music up to people like Pauline. Thank you very much for that. So first question I always like to ask, Pauline, how into wine are you? Do you like wine?
I love wine. I do. I
answer.
do. Absolutely.
Do you have a favorite grape? Are we into it that much? We know grapes.
Okay, so we live in Texas, and I don't know if you guys do this, but in the summertime, I like Pinot Grigio. And I'm redneck enough I like it really cold. So I do have a fancy glass now where it won't melt in my glass, but I did ice cubes. Now I progressed. I've become an oneophile. What?
Look at that.
Come on.
Boom. Yeah, I'll give you that. That's impressive. For Texan, that's impressive.
And then all my neighbors started checking on me when I moved to Dripping Springs. They're like, oh, she's an oneophile. We should check on her. Like, it's not. That's a whole different. It's wine.
Do you mean enophile?
No. So, and then in the winter, I like Pinot Noir.
Well,
or a Malbec.
I like Pinot Noir in the winter or the summer or the spring.
Right.
Or Tuesdays.
Yeah.
What time is it? Yeah, I like
random
Pinot Noir now.
Tuesdays. Yeah.
That's why we love Pauline. That's a perfect segue. The first wine that we're going to try today is the Blend 2. Everybody should have Blend 2 poured out. This is a Sangiovese Grenache and Cab blend that's on the lighter style. We have a really tough time growing Pinot Noir in the state. It's really hot here during the day and the night. Mm-hmm. Pinot Noir likes the heat during the day, but it wants it to be cold at night. And we don't have that. So we try to do some wines that kind of mimic that style of Pinot, so that lighter style red that you can enjoy in the summer. And this is one of them. We just released this about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's got this really cool artist label. We call it Blend 2 because we ran out of creative names for wines. We've come up with all these ideas, and we came up.
1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we made like 4 blends, and the other 3 got names, and this one was like, yeah, it was the second one. But what we've done with this, we've bottled it every year. Well, the first 2 we've made so far we've bottled, but we bottled it without a label. And about 5 months before we get ready to release it, we give the wine to a local artist and let them enjoy it and kind of create their interpretation of the wine for the front label. And local artist here in Austin, Kevin Dyer, did this for us, and it was kind of his interpretation of lights and colors and sound and movement with the red wine. And so we'll be doing that every year with a different label, but this was a really fun one we just released. I'm going to pour a little taste for Pauline and myself. So if you look here, the long, skinny, triangular cheese is the one we should be pairing with this one. And I'm going to give Antonelli's a little shout out. If you have not been to Antonelli's, there's my Texan right there.
Yeah.
If you have not been to Antonelli's in Austin, they are amazing. If you like cheese, you should go check these people out. They're over in kind of the off Duval kind of Hyde Park area in North Central Austin. Amazing folks, amazing cheeses. We also have a little bit of accoutrement to go with. I like saying that word, accoutrement. I don't know. It might be French. I don't know. But to go with the Carpenter's Wheel, which is the name of cheese we're trying today, we have some spiced watermelon pickles.
Oh.
We'll see if you can figure out which one is the spiced watermelon pickle.
Okay.
Let me get you some wine.
Spiced watermelon. What?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening over here? It looks like a date.
So that's a date.
Wow.
That's an actual. It's a medjool date. The one
Okay.
right there, the one that kind of looks like a really nice fillet of yellowtail,
It does.
is actually some spiced pickled watermelon.
Do you know about watermelon rind?
I know about the watermelon crawl.
Yeah. Okay.
I like Tracy Bird.
I heard that watermelon rind is really good for men.
I have not heard that.
It's a German thing. Look it up. Yeah, watermelon rind, pickled watermelon rind. So eat up.
All right. So,
she's like cut him off. No.
All right.
No watermelon for you.
All right. So let's get in. Everybody, if you still have some of this wine, we're gonna do what we smell and taste. So Pauline, what are you smelling on this wine?
Well, it's sweet. Maybe a little cherry.
That's right. Sweet fruit on the nose, cherry. This wine is really, really, like I said, it's got really good berry notes on the nose. It almost gives off that sweet kind of berry compote. There's there's red berries, there's blackberries. There's not really any blueberries in this one to me, but I'm
it's
super
more
picky.
cherry, right?
Yeah.
And it's not overdone either.
No,
I'm not a sweet wine drinker. I'm sweet enough.
Luckily for you, there's no sweet wines tonight. Everything is fermented dry, like me.
It's
dry.
a little bit oaky.
Sure. Yeah.
On the smell.
Okay. That's it's got a lot of oak on it.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else out there getting anything that they smell predominantly? No? Okay. Great audience inclusion.
Grape.
That would be a correct answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew it was 100% correct.
All right. What does it taste like? What does it taste like, folks? I like that adjective.
Mm-hmm.
Very much so. A little darker fruit on the taste.
Yeah.
A little more berries in the nose, darker fruit in the taste.
Nailed it.
Yeah. How's it tasting with the cheese? What about the pickled watermelon?
Oh, wow.
That's pretty good. Good job, Antonelli's.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that tastes pretty well with the wine.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, Pauline, we have from what I know about you, I think that we probably have really similar backgrounds in what we like growing up. We're both Texans. And what was your very first instrument you played? Was it guitar?
Well, my mom was the church choir director at the Catholic Church. And so technically I used to go in there and play the organ, mainly the pedals underneath to mess her up in the middle of rehearsal. I don't know where my daughter gets it from. But yeah, guitar was my first instrument. Mm-hmm.
What were you? So, it's always fun to ask kind of the artist's progression from when they started into what they're doing now and what they love. Because, if you were to ask me when I first started listening to music, I was luckily my father was really into music. And so when I was little, he got the Hot Rocks Rolling Stones tape stuck in the boat deck. So every time we went on the boat deck, it was Time Is On My Side, Ruby Tuesday, Paint It Black. We loved all that.
Every time. Yeah.
But as I got older and I turned 16 and I was not allowed to drive to Austin from Lake LBJ, but technically back then Bee Cave in the backyard and Lukenbach were not Austin. Yeah. And she failed to limit my ability to drive there, or at least audibly. So we did that a lot. And I think one of my very first concerts that I really remember was the Todd Snyder, Jack Ingram, and Robert Earl Keen concert that cost $5 to get into on a Friday night at the Backyard. And that was a lot of fun. And so that was kind of, a classic country is, Jerry Jeff and Willie and Walking the Floor and Ernest Tubb and all that stuff. Growing up in Texas is my love. So I've always liked listening to music because it seems like you've kind of got that same vibe. But who are some of your heroes? Who are some of the people that really taught you or gave you the inspiration to do what you do?
Well, obviously Willie Nelson. When I was 5 or 6 years old, my mom had a record player and it was up on top, the cabinets above the refrigerator. That's where she kept a record player because she had 8 children. So, we would take those records and, look, it's a Frisbee. So that's why she kept it up there, and she would get a stool and put a record on while she was cooking and play records. And I remember I climbed up there and I grabbed a Stardust album because the cover looked really cool. And I was like, this guy's a crazy hat on. Let's see what he's all about. And I put that record on and I was like, oh, this is that song that you sing that's on the other record, Hoagie Carmichael. And my mom said, yes. And I said, well, this guy sounds totally different. And I said, he's either going to make it or fail miserably. That was my thought in my head. Whatever the words were when you're like 6, I was like, he's either going to make it or this isn't going to work out for him, because he had a certain voice. Little did I know he was already super famous. And then when I moved to Austin, I got to meet Willie when I was 15, just, 13 years ago now. And how time flies. And so Willie was a huge inspiration, and Freddie Powers was a big inspiration for me. Sonny Throckmorton. As far as women, I love Toni Price. I love Shelby Lynn. I like Lucinda Williams is a strong Texas lady, and I really like her. Rosie Flores. There's quite a few. Michael Mark Murphey was a very big influence for me later.
The Cosmic Cowboy?
Yeah, the Cosmic Cowboys.
Yeah.
And the band and Michael inducted me into the Cosmic Cowboys as the first Cosmic Cowgirl.
Look at that.
This was about, thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive right there.
This is about 7 years ago. And I don't even smoke pot, you guys. It's amazing. So yeah, music is influences are far and wide for me. I like all the old stuff too, of course. Merle Haggard.
Yeah. That's all great stuff. My parents really loved it, like 7th grade. I was always into to country. I just didn't want to admit it in junior high.
Yeah.
I liked Rage Against the Machine and that kind of stuff. And so, they did not like Rage Against the Machine as much as I did. But,
right.
All right. Did everybody enjoy Blend 2? I think we're moving on to the Independence now. This is a wine that we do with Bordeaux, a Bordeaux grape, the grapes that originate out of Bordeaux, I should say. They're not grown in Bordeaux. They're grown in Texas, obviously, but they're Bordeaux originating grapes. Cab and Merlot. This is about 64% Cabernet Sauvignon and 34% Merlot. It's got this wonderful label that looks really cool to you. Turn it sideways and tell it's a Texas flag. Yeah, and it's called the Independence. I don't know why. I think we like our independence in Texas, but so this wine we've only done in 2010, 2015, and 2018. We've only done it in the years that we had a little bit more hang time on the vine. The Bordeaux grapes tend to get ripe really quickly. And so in the years that we can get a little more hang time and develop some more flavors, we make this wine. But this is going to be a fun one. This is a little more of a kind of heavier wine, a little more tannins, a little grippy. We're going to see what we can get out of Pauline's nose and taste.
With all of my Texas allergies.
Yeah. Especially outside in all the grass amongst the vines. All right.
Okay.
All
let's
right.
see what we have
Let's
here.
see here. What are you smelling?
Ooh, very that's strong. I really like the smell on this one. This is great. This is wonderful. This is kind of the oak, the woody smell.
Yeah, so this had a little bit longer oak aging than the one we just tried. So there's certainly more oak influence.
Okay, and then like on the back end of the smell, maybe a little strawberry.
Certainly some strawberry coming from the Merlot. That's a great call. She knew that.
I didn't actually, but okay, thanks.
I know you got it.
I was going with my nose.
You got it. Yeah, that's what you should. You got to trust the gut of the nose.
I was nervous about doing this, by the way. I'm not an oneophile.
Well, like we said, it's
I
really
just pull
great.
that out when some jerk, is
Yeah.
is saying something like a smarty pants. I'll be like, "Oh, are you an oneophile?" And they're like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're not. Neither am I."
I get called
I
the jerk
just looked
all
that
the
up
time.
once.
I get called the jerk all the time.
I just love Google.
All right. Does anybody else out there have anything that's sticking out to them on the nose? Any smells that are coming out to you? Let us know. Come on. Somebody's got to
It's
smell
very
something.
earthy.
Oh, that's why you put your nose right all the way down in there.
Mm-hmm.
My wife always yells at me when we go to the restaurant. She's like, "Get your nose out of the glass." And I'm like, "That's how you smell. You put your nose in there."
You got to. Aren't you supposed to? Yeah,
That's
you're
right.
supposed
All
to
the
do
way.
this, right?
Yeah. Of course. I kind of know what I'm talking about. I've only been doing this for about 14 years, but I've been drinking wine. Well, yeah, 13 years I've been drinking wine. I was 21 when we bought the winery. No. Actually, I was only 28. It's not that far away. All right, so to me, the cab's really shining through on the nose right now. I get some of the under notes of the strawberry, which is I love. It's one of my favorite things in Merlot. But I'm getting a little bit of kind of dark Courant and dark plum, and there's some really almost like some prunes, almost a little bit of raisin in there because the wine's a little bit more ripe.
Yeah, if you go back and smell it and you think plum in your mind, then you can smell it.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
fantastic.
let's see what it tastes like. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Cherry Tootsie Roll Pop?
Yeah.
I like that. How many? Never mind. Did you get to the bottom?
Wow, that is fantastic.
We just released this to the wine club about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So we've just put this out. And so I haven't actually even done the tasting notes on this one. I'm really enjoying it. Let me see that. My cheese notes blew away. Excuse me. Thank you.
My
All right,
cheese
my
notes.
cheese
It's like a
notes.
set list for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
It's your set list.
I wanted you to try the wine before you tried the cheese. Come on.
Yeah.
So the next one is it's the Moses Sleeper. This is the soft kind of brie looking cheese there. And this is to be tried with the date. And the date's going to really taste great with that cab.
I've been divorced for 7 months. I would love a date. So thank you, Ron. Appreciate it. Cheers.
It's really hard to do this when they're funnier than you are, you know? I don't think
It's
I'm that
my
funny,
job.
but wow, she's so let's try it all together and let's see how it all tastes. Let me know.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that
That's
cheese
really,
is creamy. That's delicious.
That is really good. So
Yeah.
it's not a brie?
No, it is from Vermont. It's a soft ripened cow cheese. I mean, I guess technically it's a brie. It's just not from France.
Okay, gotcha. I'm not what would that be? A cheese connoisseur?
Cheesemonger? I think.
Is it cheesemonger? Yeah.
A cheese sommelier? There's probably a word for that I don't know, and Kendall's going to get mad at me for not knowing that, but I'm sorry, Kendall. That's really good. I'm going to take one more bite. Excuse me.
Yeah, that is really good. I'm loving this. And this is from the same place, from Antonelli's?
This is all from Antonelli's.
Oh,
this,
my
this
goodness.
This cheese is from Vermont, where it's made in Vermont. Oh, that little bit of ripeness to the independence and the date really tastes well together. Yeah. All right, what did everybody think? They enjoy that tasting? Did it all work out? Yeah. All right. How we doing on time, Lauren? How we doing on time? We're good. You haven't told me to quit talking yet. So, okay, good. All right. We ready? We're getting ready to start pouring the third wine. If you don't have it yet, it's good because it's going to take me a long introduction to explain this wine. This wine is a wine we have just released called the Battle of Toro. Think of that, yeah.
That's cool.
This is a 50% and 50% blend of two grapes. One is my favorite grape in the world, Tempranillo, and it's from here off the property. and it's 50% Tempranillo, and it's 50% of another grape called Touriga Nacional, which is a Portuguese grape by origin, and is the primary grape in port making. So they make big heavy ports out of this. So we have blended these two wines together in the past, and we quit doing it because it was so tough. Touriga wants to dominate the entire blend. At 90% Tempranillo and 10% Touriga, you can still taste it. So we put this wine together. The 2017 is what it is, and it was the first harvest of our Touriga. Touriga is grown at a vineyard that we own in Round Mountain, where my mom lives, and this was the very first harvest of the Touriga. And we only had about 2 barrels. It was not enough to do a single varietal of it, so we decided we'd make this blend. And like an idiot, as soon as we made the blend, I was like, oh yeah, I remember why we quit making this blend. Because the Tempranillo and the Touriga just want to fight each other the whole time. So we bottled this in 2019, and it has literally sat in the bottle for a year and a half, almost 2 years now, because it just wouldn't coalesce. The Touriga would be on one side, Tempranillo would be on the one side, and they're kind of compartmentalized, and they never came together. So finally, about 6 months ago, we gave it a try. We were like, oh, here we go.
It's working.
Yeah, and so Battle of Toro is the name for a lot of reasons. Battle of Toro was a big battle of the War of Castilian Succession between Portugal and Spain, where Portugal fought for their independence. And I think it was in the mid 1400s. So that was the first name. Toro is a synonym, like Tempranillo in Spain is called Tinta de Toro and a couple other names. And there's some other synonyms.
Don't call me that.
You can call me Tinta de Toro todos veces, si quieres. And the Touriga was used that same synonym, same for in Portugal. So we've used that as well. And the battle, because they just never wanted to coalesce. So
Sounds like my my ex-husband. This is us right now. That's it right there.
You never coalesced?
Yeah, no. Twice.
I love my job. So this is going to be a fun wine. So this is going to be the heaviest of the 3 we're trying today. 50% new oak. So there's 4 barrels. 2 of the barrels were brand new. One was brand new American. One was brand new French. I believe the Tempranillo was in American, and the Touriga was in French oak. So 50% of this wine was new new oak. So you're going to get a real intense oak element to this. After it's open for a little bit, that'll burn off, but you're really going to get the oak influence in this. And I can't wait to see what Pauline thinks this smells like.
Oh my gosh, here we go. Pressure's on. At least I can swirl. Look, I'm not spilling. Isn't that great?
I spill on myself all the time, so it's yeah.
That's because any moms out there, you have to do this with a bottle, if you ever microwave. Yeah.
my wife wouldn't let me do the microwave. I had to go and put it in a boiling bottle of water.
I did the boiling thing for a long time. But when you're on the road, sometimes my kids would go on the road with me. A lot of the time. Actually, all the time. Obviously, there's one here tonight. The other one's at a softball tournament. But and my goat. I had a goat that went on tour.
Goats make great tour companions.
They do. Yeah. I just put a diaper on the goat, and I would feed the goat a bottle and feed Henley a bottle and give the other one some food and then hand them to the nanny, which worked out, ironically, and then hop on stage.
My dad used to manage 50,000 head of goat at the ranch growing up, and when he was alive, if I said the word goat in front of him, he'd slap me. He did not like goats.
I named my first goat was Dumpling. Because I had chickens and dumpling,
Did you make goat dumplings?
I did not.
Cabrito dumplings.
And then I had a grand goat. I know I don't look old enough, but I did. And
it's hard to do when you're 17.
I named it Ziegenbach. Anybody get it? It means goat in German.
That's funny. Come on, that's funny.
Come on. Does anybody speak German? Let's work this out.
All right.
Yeah.
What are we smelling here?
Gross.
What are we smelling, everybody? What are we smelling?
Oh, wow. So first smell, like a little citrus, ironically, on the top. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Does it?
There's nothing.
Is there
everything
nothing wrong
makes
with
it.
this?
Nothing.
I hope, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just guessing.
That's the whole. You're supposed to smell and use what those senses give you. That's what how you're supposed to do it.
Definitely a lot more oak in this one.
Is anything just jumping out at anybody? Is there one?
What is that?
Pepper
I can't figure
is
it out.
in there. Very
Yeah,
great. Very great.
Pepper. Nicely done.
Yeah. So one of the trademark aromatics from Touriga Nacional is blueberries.
Oh.
So if you're smelling blueberries, then you're getting the Touriga. But what's great about this wine, hence the name Battle, sometimes you smell the blueberries coming from the Touriga. Other times you're smelling the cherries and the plums from the Tempranillo. And those, depending upon how long the wine's been open and the barometric pressure and where Pauline's playing that night, it changes what you're smelling. It makes a difference. So, to me, this is just bouncing with blueberry notes on the front.
Yeah.
And now that I said that, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, blueberries, yeah."
Now you can smell it. Mm-hmm.
But I get blueberries in the front end and super ripe cherries in the nose as well.
And this is so much better than my smoothie in the morning.
Wow.
I mean,
it's kind of a smoothie.
Really,
wine
is it?
smoothie.
Can you tell that to my friends?
I mean,
and
it's
my mom?
fruit. Aren't smoothies fruit based?
They are. That's what I'm saying.
It's
It
just
smells,
fermented fruit.
It's very similar. Can I add this to my smoothie? It's an antioxidant. I'm putting it in.
It's got tons of resveratrol. All right, let's see how it tastes, and let's do this. Let's everybody give it a little taste, and then once we've tried it once, let's kind of do the food that we're supposed to try with it. And today, for the second one, is everybody's gonna love this one, and I'm gonna have to pronounce this correctly here. This is Buffarolo cheese from Italy.
Bless you.
Excuse me, semi-soft cheese. But I will give anybody a free glass of wine if they can guess the animal that this cheese comes from.
Ooh.
Who? Oh, you read it.
Llama.
Oh, that's not fair. You read it.
A llama.
Guess I had to invalidate that free glass of
yak.
wine. Yeah. No, this is water buffalo cheese. Literally, we didn't just put that on there as a joke. It's water buffalo cheese. How's it tasting?
Wow, how cool. That's very creamy.
Oh.
That's really good.
The Italians.
I didn't know they could rope, and hog tie or buffalo water.
Can you
buffalo
hog tie? Water buffaloes are pretty big. I don't know if
I don't know how they
it
milk
might
them.
take two cowboys to do that.
How in the world do they milk those? Now I'm going to Google it. That's what I'm doing. I get home tonight. Water buffalo milk extraction.
Yeah, and
just see what.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's also a little bit of some salami that goes with this. This is some pork salami, and it is called. I'm going to mispronounce this too. Sauson Rouge, and it's from Smoking Goose Cheesery in Indianapolis, Indiana. I mean, sorry, from the not the cheesery, from the Smoking Goose Meats in Indiana.
So good.
The smokiness of the meat, the sausage really plays well with the aromatics.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yes, ma'am. Who does? Pauline. We called her earlier, and we the wonderful folks at Antonelli's. We told them kind of what we were doing, which wines we were doing, what the flavors were, and they helped us pick out cheeses. Yeah, and they can. Shameless plug for them. They can do all kinds of stuff like that for you. So if you're having a dinner party and you know what wines you're serving and you want to curate a cheese list with it, they're really, really good at that. Obviously, they did it today. So let's get into the flavors now. We haven't done that yet. Now that we've mixed the wine and the cheese and everything together, what's everybody tasting? Anything standing out to anybody? What you got, Pauline?
Oh my goodness, that's this right here. What'd you call it?
Sausage.
Really?
Smoking Goose.
All right, Eckerd. No.
Pork sausage. No. It's from pork sausage from Indiana.
Okay. It's really taking over the flavor, but it's really good with this wine. It's not very strong. From the smell of this, I expected it to be a lot more tannins and a lot heavier, but it's not. I could drink this in the summer in Texas. Yay!
Well, cheers to that. Yeah. I could also drink this in the winter in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's what I'm saying.
I think I already
Winter,
said that once already today.
Every season, which could happen at any moment.
We generally only have 2, but sometimes we have 7 seasons. This year we had freezing season, and then we had hot season already, pre-hot spring. Does anybody, to me the there's the little bit of the fat in the sausage
Yeah.
is really playing with the smoke, and it's really added. She's right. The wine is tasting a little lean today, and that fattiness from the sausage is really kind of filling it out and making it
It is.
fit in the palate. Yeah.
That's what's so great is the smokiness in that sausage is just complementing the sweetness with the wine. But
Yeah.
like I said, I don't drink sweet wines. And so this is just a wonderful pairing. I mean, kudos to Antonelli's.
Yeah, they did a good job. Well, does anybody else have any more tasting notes or smells or anything? What time is it?
Apricot?
Apricot? I could see that.
What
I
am
could
I-
see that. I could see
Yeah,
from
it's
the.
like peach or apricot.
there's
like
some- yeah.
just on the
I mean that's what the great thing about wine tasting is it's supposed to be what you taste out of it. There are some wrong
Yeah, it's kinda
answers, but I
apricot.
would never tell you if you're wrong.
good.
All right.
Oh, I see why your wife likes you. Oh.
Well, I never once told. I tell her wrong. She's all the time, but she just doesn't listen. So she just doesn't believe me.
Good for
Yeah,
her.
she's much smarter than I am. So if I'm correct, you grew up kind of near Pittsburgh, Texas, right?
Well, I'm still growing up. So,
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
No, I was born in Mount Pleasant,
Mount Pleasant.
and then raised in Pittsburgh,
Okay.
Texas. Moved to Austin when I was 11. So that's
Yeah.
like 17 years ago now. And
That was
20 years ago now.
Come on.
not going to lie, 20, 21,
What?
22. Do I hear 23?
Come on, hammer, 2022.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes, Carol Shelby. That's right. And my dad was a mechanical engineer who happened to move to Mount Pleasant when they lost the child before me, their sixth child. And they moved from Houston to get into a small town just to be and live. And so they bought a Western Auto. And I have 3 brothers and 4 sisters. Well, 3 and 3. There's, we lost a brother. And they were all into race cars and yeah, so
I think I still have a red wagon from Western Auto.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so in high school, my dad had a Mitsubishi, which is great on the front end. So if you're racing the guys in high school, you always win, which is great. Go ahead and modify whatever you want to do. I'm still going to beat you. I have 2 older brothers and 1 younger one, and my dad. So it was a really fun place to grow up out in the country, and that's all we had to do was raise our own vegetables and animals. And I wish my parents owned a vineyard, but no, they didn't. No.
My parents didn't either.
Yeah.
All right. So, but one more last question before we get you back up and start playing some more. But so how I have a lot of buddies from East Texas that I went to UT with, but I grew up on west of I-35, and it's always fun. So what were the differences in your musical learnings growing up until you were 11 in East Texas versus moving to Austin and getting kind of the Austin vibe? How did that differ for you?
Oh my goodness. So East Texas was kind of the back porch with my grandpa teaching me some guitar. He played banjo, fiddle, anything with strings my grandfather could play. And then my other grandparents were classical piano and saxophone. And my grandmother played organ. So it was just very laid back versus city of Houston. And then when I moved to Austin, it was a whole different thing. It was a wake-up call. It was like, oh, you want to move here? You have to be a songwriter, and you have to really learn how to play that instrument. And fortunately for me, my friend Molly McKnight introduced me to Freddie Powers, and he said, you can't just sing with a microphone like Star Search. Anybody remember that? I'm dating myself right now. It's not American Idol, it's Star Search. I wanted to be on that so bad.
The second version?
No, probably the first one.
Okay.
The first one. Now you owe me a bottle. I'm taking this home. So I begged her to be on that, and it just never worked out. But I do have my Grammy speech from when I was 5 on cassette, and I hope to use that one day as my Grammy speech 100%. But
we need to hear that.
moving to Austin,
Yeah.
Freddie introduced me to Willie and Pootie and Merle Haggard and Sonny Throckmorton. And
All good people to know.
the list goes on and on. And I have had the privilege and the honor of getting to know these people on a one-on-one basis and learn how to write songs with them and kind of pick their brains about what they went through in their musical life and everything from divorces to marriages to kids to touring with kids, all of those things. So I would not trade what I have here in Texas for any Grammy, although I'd love one. But I wouldn't trade it for any Grammy that I could ever get by learning what I learned from all the people I met in Austin. It made my career, it made me who I am, and that's the reason I'm sitting here today. That's all I can say.
Woo! Well, I tell you what, that's enough of me talking because, everybody's had enough of that. Pauline, thank you for indulging us in this wonderful wine tasting. I love doing that to artists that are fun and enjoy it. It's fun to get to try to see what everybody tastes. Let's let Pauline play some more music. What do you think?
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, and it worked again. It's my lucky day. Thank you so much. That was really fun.
My pleasure. Thank
Amazing wine. Kudos to everyone here at Spicewood Vineyards for all of their hard work putting this together. Well, I think now that we're all chilled out from our cheese and wine, I'm going to play you a little song about floating the river. Hey, Henley, do you want to try my pickled watermelon? I think you should. Go try. Look, it's right there. It looks like fish. It's not, I promise. I just want to see her face. It's pickled watermelon. I think she's going to like it because it's a little bit sour. Turn around so you can see your face. What do you think? You like it? Isn't it great? 10-year-old approved. Check. I'm going to sing you a little song and take us down the river because we are so close to being able to float the Guadalupe and the Frio. I am very excited. Anybody ever do that in the summer here in Texas? Yeah, if you can get into the Frio, it's always booked now, like 2 years in advance. So sing you this little song that I wrote called Banks of the Guadalupe about the Frio. It just sounded better when I wrote it. Creative license, okay? To be with you in the sunshine and feel the water rushing past makes me remember when I was younger and how fast time it can pass. Come with me and float the river, and let's live for today. On the banks of the Guadalupe, see the cypress on the banks of the roots from deep down like our take this moment make it last. 'Cause tomorrow, today will be the past. Come with me and float the river, and let's live for today on the banks of the Guadalupe. Everyone needs a holiday in the Guadalupe. Guadalupe. Guadalupe, yeah. Ooh, Guadalupe. Thank you. Do you want to sing our song, please? Okay, all right. I'm going to get my daughter Henley up here, 10 years old, Dripping Springs, Texas. Yeah.
Did you have her when you were 7?
Yes, I was very young when I had her, so just to make me look younger, that's what I did. Part where you clap like old school. Henley Sage, everybody. So she's been singing on stage with me since she was 2. And what are you now, 8? Terrible with math, you guys. 10, right? 10. Yeah, last time I checked. So I had you when I was 20, I think. It was weird. It's a East Texas thing. Drink up. I'm just kidding. No, but we were backstage one time, and my daughter Heidi is 12, and we did You've Got a Friend. And so this was at a Michael Mark Murphey show. And I said, yeah, watch this. This is so great. She knows every lyric. It's so fun. And so they both sang You've Got a Friend for him. And then he said, oh, James Taylor, that's so great. And then Heidi said, actually, it's Carole King. She wrote it. Raising them right, y'all. So I'm going to play you a song that I co-wrote with my mentor, Freddie Powers. Last night I played a show with Andrea Marie, and I did This Is Where the Cowboy Rides Away, which Sonny Throckmorton wrote, and I just put it on. I called him and just left my phone on to see if he would answer, and he answered, and we were both like playing. I was like, he's on the phone. He's listening. Don't screw it up. So this one's for Freddie, my mentor, who has passed away 4 years ago now, I believe. And he helped me play guitar, write my songs, and be who I am today. So this one's for Freddie. Which was, ironically, this was a song that was perfect for COVID. There's one less honky-tonk in Texas, another one died today. They put a sign on its place and pulled the window shades. And they pulled the plug on the jukebox, which song was just a dime. And there ain't no use in crying, 'cause it happens all the time. People take for granted cries in their beer, listening to those country songs that we all want to hear. And there'll be no more two-stepping or waltzing on the wooden floor, 'cause they put a sign on its place and then they walk the floor. For the smokers and the jokers and the drinkers and the thinkers and the people who don't have no place to go. For the cowboys and the ladies and the boys who love to fight. There's one less honky-tonk in Texas tonight. So the next time you're in Texas, or you dance to a country band, or you have yourself a cold one, just remember if you can, that they may be gone tomorrow. So help me sing this song. Let's all dance together before the honky-tonks are gone. For the smokers and the jokers and the drinkers and the thinkers and the people who don't have no place to go. For the cowboys and the ladies and the boys who love to fight. There's one less honky-tonk in Texas tonight. Yeah, I won't miss that old honky-tonk Saturday night. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, so I'm going to play you a song. Anybody from Dallas? You just clap for it. It's north of here. Where? So when I was Henley's age. My great-grandfather was 99 years old, and that's the reason I learned German, is because he spoke German. I didn't know that at the time, and my mom would take me to visit him, and I remember him telling these stories, and he would just mumble. I thought he was a really bad mumbler, you know, or maybe he got into the watermelon rind and beer. I don't know, but it was like, you know, he would just tell those stories, and I couldn't understand him. And then later, when I grew up a little bit more, I understood that he spoke German. You know, it kind of sounds like that when you say it. You know, ich verstehe nur ein bisschen Deutsch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? I won the poetry contest in Texas at the Worst Fest in New Braunfels. Yay! Some people are pageant queens. I'm like, I won the German poetry contest at the Worst Fest. And then I had a sausage with a roll and lots of mustard. It's my claim to fame, y'all. Some people have Grammys. So this song right here is about him, and I wrote it. This is my disclaimer. It's 98% true, and the other 2% just rhymed really nicely at the time. I was in Ruidoso, New Mexico at my friend's cabin, and I called my mom, And she didn't answer at 11:30, and and I was like, "What is that story?" I mean, I remember parts of it, but about the gun that was given to us and our family by my great grandfather from the Barrow Brothers. Anybody remember the Barrow Brothers?
Clyde?
Bonnie and Clyde. Thank you. Well played, Texan. Yeah, somebody studied their history books, which is weird that we would put that into history books. Oh, y'all killed a bunch of people and didn't get caught? We're putting you in the history books.
I feel like
Boom!
I feel like
Stamp.
there's a plaque at
Notarized.
Longhorn Caverns.
I would like to do that today. I have a couple people on my list right now. But I'm not going to. I told my mom, I said, you ruined my entire life, my career. And she said, what? I said, yeah, you taught me all these morals and faith and stuff. Integrity. I hate it. I would have been famous. She said, well, I'm glad. So this is about Joe Brands, my great-grandfather. He was a builder in Dallas, and he used to build things. No. You know the mobile gas station, the big red, what's it called? Pegasus? Yeah. That's why I call my horse. She's a Pegasus at night. He built that, along with a lot of the old buildings in the 1920s. And then he hid a bunch of things for Clyde Barrow and his brother. Because you're a builder. You've got yards of stuff. You can hide things. You could never tell by looking. His hair was blonde as gold, and eyes of blue that looked at you and saw right through your soul. He'd tell you the stories back when he was young, of a 44 6-shot pearl handle gun. Joe Brands was a wild one. He ran with the clan. He had a picture of Jesus tattooed on his hand. His mama tried to warn him about what he called fun. And that 44 6-shot pearl handle gun. Right here in Dallas, his brother by his side, he met a girl named Bonnie with Joe Brands did alright, drinking moonshine from a mason with the morning sun. And that 44 6-shot pearl handle gun. It was in all the papers, the Dallas Morning News. Bonnie and Clyde had killed a man on Central Avenue when they were caught down in Mobile, going fast as they could run. And the law never found that lost dirty gun. My great-granddaddy Joe Brands is 44 6-shot pearl handle gun. Thank you. Like I said, 98%, 2% not true. So do you remember did anybody watch The Highwaymen, that movie? Yeah, so according to my great-grandfather, what happened actually from their accounts, and we have documentation, which is kind of funny because movie people are like, I don't care. This is a great story. We're going to do it. So according to the actual documentation, they were arrested, Clyde and his brother, and sent to this prisoner jail. That's the only part I'm confused on. And the guards beat them. And so they escaped because it was a little bit easier. If it was that easy, I'd do it today. But and so it was a little bit easier back then. They escaped, and then they came back and they killed the prison guards and took their weapons. And so they hid the weapons with my great-grandfather in Dallas because he was the builder, and we still have them at my cousin's in Brownwood, which I can't even find him, so good luck. But he said that I get to inherit those guns because I'm the only family member that won't sell them. So I'm like, heck no, I'm going to shoot them, and then I'm going to put them in that museum in San Antonio where we can all look at it and still be in our family. So, yeah. So a little bit more to that story. I wish California would have come to me. Oh, that's a great song idea. Noted. Don't take it. I just copyrighted it just now. So I'm going to do a song that I wrote with, you mentioned Jerry Jeff Walker. So I'm going to do a song that I wrote with his son, Django Walker, who is a very dear friend of mine for many, many years. One of the coolest men in the music business that I know, because not many men would travel with an infant. When Henley was about 8 months old, we did a radio tour all through Texas and Oklahoma together in my tour van. And we would have to literally pull over. I'd be like, hey, she's hungry, so we're going to pull over. And you can just like stare at a sunset, write a song. I'm going to go feed my kid. So he's probably like, really? You have to tell that story? But we wrote this. Some people are addicted to drugs. Some people are addicted to alcohol. Apparently, I'm addicted to rodeo cowboys. I've been married to 2. I know. It's a problem. It's a problem. But I'm sober. So as far as we know, we've had that tasting was fine. It was non-alcoholic wine. So this is a little rodeo song for you. I grew up around rodeo. My grandfather's a rodeo cowboy. Rode at Madison Square Gardens and was a saddle bronc rider. So this one's for Grandpa. Another 18-hour drive. No cold air in his old Bel Air, but he's still gonna ride. Calls his buddies on the phone. Says his rodeo's done. I drew the one so y'all can just stay home. And it's feet in the stirrups and on the rein. To be the toughest cowboy, you gotta be a little vain. And he's riding for the buckle, out in money and the fame. He knows what's at stake every time he's pulling rein. Lights go out and the show's done. It's a coffee to go, a bean burrito and a honey bun. Didn't go quite as he planned. With the money he won, the biz will get done. After all, he's a family man. And it's feet in the stirrups and on the rein. To be the toughest cowboy, you gotta be a little vain. And he's riding for the buckle, adding money and the fame. He knows what's at stake every time he's feeling rain. Tonight he knows he let one get away, but tomorrow he'll be back in action. He's gonna give it everything. And it's feet in the stirrups and Thank you. I just noticed the Dorino clan. Anybody go to the turkey shoot? No? Spicewood? Yeah. This is really fun. This was it last year? Last year before? I'm COVID year. I lose a year. So I performed at the turkey shoot, Dorino Donkey Ranch, and so Tom says, "Hey, if you want to shoot, you can come over, and you and your daughter can shoot." And I had Heidi, my 12-year-old at the time, 11 or 10 at the time, and he said, "Come on over and shoot on your break." And I said, "Okay, cool." And it was a BB gun with a target, and these guys brought in their own stuff, right? Like sighted out scopes on a BB gun. It's very intense. I said, "Well, what is this, like $15-20?" I was like, "Okay, cool." So I paid for my daughter and I. And on the break, she shot, and then I shot, and I got, was it three perfect shots through the bullseye? Five perfect shots through the bullseye. And he was like, "What was that all about?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm a 6th-generation Texan. It just comes natural. It's in our DNA." And so not only did I get paid, which it was an amazing time. I didn't even need to be paid. Don't tell him that. But
Well, this is free,
it was
right?
such a great, this is free.
Yeah.
For a case or two of wine. You do? That's so awesome. And so not only did I get paid for singing and performing that day, but they gave me $500 and a gallon of wild turkey. Woo! Not bad for a little 33-year-old Texan, huh? So, I am debating on what to play for you guys. I think I'm going to play you one of my newer songs. This is one that I wrote for Michael Mark Murphy and the band for being so supportive and taking me on tour after going through what I've been through. What amazing people. And that's why I carry this Dreamcatcher on my guitar, actually. This was from the Quahati Museum outside of Amarillo, Texas. And the guys got this for me for my guitar after Gary Roller, because he always has a feather hanging from his guitar, and I thought it was so cool. He said, "Here's something you can hang from your guitar. Don't ever let go of your dreams." Super cool. So this one's called Dreamcatcher. As you sleep upon your pillow, while the stars shine in the sky, you are rising through the willows. You feel like you can fly. There's a place high in the mountains where a horse runs free and wild. Down upon her you travel swiftly to where dreams can come alive. You must walk the road to the Michael Martin Murphy. He's already left Texas. It's not even June. They headed out literally today to Red River, New Mexico. So you can always find him there. He's got his own venue, and he just plays there for 3 months until it cools off and he comes back to Texas. So if you're going to Red River, he's got the 3M, I think it's called the 3M Chuck Wagon, but it's Red River. Just walk around. You'll find him.
You got one more for us?
Absolutely.
All right.
Just look for the guy that's dressed like Jeremiah Johnson. Anybody know who that is? Raise your hands. Oh, very good.
Robert
yeah.
Redford?
Yeah. Nice. Nicely. You are a Texan. See, this is how we test our Texanicity.
My wife made me shave off like 7 pounds of a beard last week.
She
so
did?
I'm missing it. Yeah, it was.
No.
It was big. It was big.
Very Jeremiah Johnson.
Very Jeremiah Johnson.
Skin that grizz, Pilgrim. That's what I want to call one of the wines. That'll be my personal.
Skin that grizz?
Yeah, skin that grizz.
I like that.
Yeah?
I like that.
All right.
We'll collaborate on that.
Deal.
You're right.
Deal.
gotta
You
write-
heard
yes,
it.
It has to
And
come. The bottle has to come with the song, though.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All right.
I'll write a song called Skin That Grizz. It sounds like it'd be a bluegrass song, doesn't it? Like Skin that grizz all day long. I don't. Okay, it's already happening.
Done. Done.
And it's on camera, so now
I do. I'm in Nashville and I'm too customers. Where am I supposed to? Where did I go? India? We love you country music. It could work. Indianapolis, because they got sausage. And so it was just kind of a cop out. And I was very, very traditional country because I've been hanging out with Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson. I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. And so then I went to another label and through another connection that same week, and they said, "Well, you're too Texas." And I said, "Well, bless your heart." I said, "Bless your heart," which in Texan means tree. If you speak it. Does anybody speak Texan? Yeah? Good. And so he proceeded to tell me that I also had 2 children that were 2 and 4 at the time, and that he couldn't take me on as a woman who had kids on the road. And I said, let me tell you something. I said, I have been in Texas for, at the time, 20 years, and I had 2 kids on the road. I said, I do all of it myself at the time. I do all my booking, all my merchandise, all my social media, and I take my 2 kids on the road without help from my ex. I said, so, that being said, if you put me on a bus with a kitchen, with bunks, with a nanny, and you promote my music yourself and handle all the merch and all the management and all the booking, I got it made. I've been doing all this by myself without your help. And I managed to get entertained here twice and female vocalist 5 times. Because I didn't care. He obviously wasn't going to give me the record deal, right? I didn't care. And so then I said, "Are those your two kids in the picture here?" And he said, "Oh, yes."
Started to brag about his kids. And I said, "They look like they're pretty close to my kids' age." He said, "Yeah, they're 6 and 7." And I said, "Oh, so how is it that every day you manage to wake up and get dressed and come here to your record label and run the label with all these country artists with 2 children?" And he said, "I see your point." I said, "Good. Now, if you're smart, you'll put me on your label. If you're not, have a nice life." And so then I just walked out. That was it. And I never talked to the guy again. That was Sony Records, y'all. So I came back to Texas, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to keep doing it on my own. And I cut my 6th album and called it To Texas, and it got Album of the Year in Texas. And I think that thank you. And I think that this Wake Eastman song says it all. So be sure and catch the lyrics here. I couldn't have written it any better myself. On a calm day in Texas, we chase tornadoes. On a slow day, we race our pickup trucks. On a hot day down in Texas, we drink Tabasco. And on a bad day, we thank God for our good luck. May the Lone Star flag forever fly. May the spirit of the Alamo never die. Coach Landry walks the sidelines high up in the sky. May the Lone Star flag forever fly. On the straight day down in Texas, we shoot tequila. On a dry day, we wildcat a well. And on the tame day down in Texas, we break a stallion. And on a down day, we raise all kinds of hell. May the Lone Star flag forever fly. May the spirit of the Alamo never die. And old Stevie Ray plays guitar high up in the sky. The Lone Star flag forever fly. Buddy Holly sings Rave On. Bob Will still swings to his Rose of San Antonio. May the Lone Star flag forever fly. May the spirit of the Alamo never die. May all our fallen heroes ride high up in the sky. May the Lone Star flag forever fly. May the Lone Star flag forever fly. May the spirit of the Alamo never die. All our fallen heroes ride high up in the sky. May the Lone Star flag forever fly. May the Lone Star flag forever fly. Bless your heart. Thank you.
All right, you hear me? Pauline, thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you for everybody for coming out and enjoying some wine today and hanging out and listening to some wonderful music. PaulineReese.com.
PaulineReese.com if you liked what you heard tonight. If not, I'm Carrie Underwood. I do have
Carrie Underwood's better looking younger sister.
yeah.
Yes,
Well
yes,
played,
yes,
sir. Well
yes.
played. I do have some scan cards. Now that everybody understands how to scan on your phone, like on the menu during COVID, I have that with my albums. So they're $10 each. So I highly encourage you to get one of those and pay for my daughter's softball tournament tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here and planning your evening around this. I'm so grateful, you guys. I couldn't do what I do for a living if it weren't for people like you and people like the Yates. So thank you.
Thank you, and you know, now that we're re-emerging, y'all check out. I'm sure Pauline's playing at a bunch of places and starting to get back out there. So everybody go support her. Thank y'all for coming out and trying the wine and listening to some great music today. We're going to try to continue this little thing through the summer and continue on. So we'll do the next Friday night wine down will be on the 4th of June. I think I'm not good at math. You know, I went to law school. I don't add. I think that's the 4th, but you know, check back with us. We'll have another great artist out here and another great evening. Hopefully the weather will be as amazing as this on June 4th. Thank you. Thank everybody out there listening. Thank y'all for paying attention. We're glad to have everybody, and we'll see y'all next time. Thank y'all. Law school graduate. Oh, okay. Never passed the bar exam. So, law school graduate. I started a record label in college and had to do the contractual side of the label. So you did it for about 3 years, and then I found something else to do.
What is this a puppy?